Everybody, welcome back. Crack kills, quick hits. We're halfway through the season, over halfway, in fact. Week 9. Interesting week last week. Thought there maybe would be separation. Maybe not. Let's take a look at the 5 things to watch for as the time has changed everywhere but here. The leaves are changing. Things are getting colder. But the crack kill season is just heating up. Crack kills quick hit number 1. No separation. Last week we talked about separation Sunday. This week we'll look and we see no separation. Last week 4 games featured 4 and 3 versus 3 and 4 teams. Of those 4 games, 8 teams, only No Comment was able to push to 5 and 3 last week. Otherwise it was trailing teams across the board pushing a 6-way tie of teams at 4 and 4. It's virtually impossible to tell who is in first of those teams. The standings obviously sort them, but with tiebreaker criteria, there's so much left to happen that all those 4 and 4 teams can probably feel good, but also probably not feel good. We'll see what happens. The 4 and 3 teams, though, that couldn't get the wins last week will definitely be lamenting not being able to open that gap a little bit more, especially if it comes down to a tiebreak in the end. And that pesky team that knocked them off in week 8 is the one that makes the playoffs instead of them. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but need a win in those situations. We'll be watching that as we go on through the season, but week 8 could be the one that we mark and say, that's when everything changed. Quick hit number 2, the Denim Dip. The Jeans started 4-0, looking unbeatable. How quickly things changed. Just a month later, they're 4 and 4. And they are asking some serious questions. A quarterback injury to Trey Lance and a lack of options to turn to forced them to start Zach Wilson last week, which didn't work. The wide receivers have not kept up their end of the bargain. Their production has dropped. And the Jeans' backfield is a mystery, although they maybe got an answer with Travis Etienne playing a little bit better the last few weeks and stepping up to fill the role of the pick that he was when he was made, I believe, a second-round pick. The Denim will need a get-right game, but today is maybe a tough one. Facing 4 and 4 Shittown, also tied with them 4 and 4, and Shittown got a big defensive game on Thursday night from Javon Hargrave. The winner of this one gonna feel a little bit better at 5 and 4, but at 4 and 5 with all these other teams, they're not out with a loss, and probably can't feel a whole lot worse at 4 and 5 than they do at 5 and 4. Just a tricky place to be for both these teams. We'll see if the Jeans can stop that 4-game skid. Quick hit number 3. Speaking of the Jeans, going streaking. The Jeans are just one team currently on a streak, with both ways represented. The Apes have not won since week 2. 6 losses in a row. Of course, they made some trades a couple of weeks ago. Future Cop, 5 losses in a row. All Business, 3 in a row. And of course, we mentioned the Jeans at 4 in a row. On the other side of the coin, you've got King Kwan riding a 5-game win streak and still hanging in there for that first place tie. Unfinished Business and the Dimebags have both salvaged what could have been a once lost season at 1 and 4 with 3 straight wins to get back to 500. And Superfly has won back-to-back games to maintain their 7-1 record and first place. Which streak will be the first to be snapped? We've got them all facing up against each other today. Of course, if UB and the Bags can keep winning, they got to feel good. And Quan with 5 in a row, hottest team in the league right now, and we'll see if they can keep that going. Quick hit number 4, high score jinx. Through 8 weeks, 6 teams have notched high scores, with the Tinfoil Kings and No Comment both getting 2 high scores so far. That's the good news. The bad news is that only 3 teams, Shittown, All Business, and Superfly, have followed up grabbing a high score with a win. And all but one team, Shittown, has scored over 110 points the following week with 120. All Business and a couple of teams, All Business and Superfly, both over 100. I believe that Superfly 100 exactly. So No Comment might be nervous facing Future Cop today, a game that you might think was a win, but after that high score last week, who knows if No Comment maybe doesn't show up today. And No Comment not showing up, would it be a new thing? Let's be honest here. Quick hit number 5. Wide receiver season. We talked about the QBs. We said it was a QB season last week. This week, let's focus on the wide receivers. 3 wide receivers in the top 4, led by Stefon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, and Tyreek Hill. New scenery? Same old Tyreek Hill. Top 3 out of the top 4. A.J. Brown joined the top 10 with his huge 3-touchdown game last week, in which we saw a pretty good celebration from A.J. Brown that he was fine for, of course. Who's not there, though, in the top 10? Top 2 pick Justin Jefferson. All-star Jamar Chase. Devontae Adams in new scenery. CeeDee Lamb, a guy who you thought was going to be big. CeeDee Lamb is not at a 100-yard game this year. Big names in the preseason. Not showing up so far. But as we know from A.J. Brown last week, all it takes is that one big game to turn things around. Finally, the player to watch today. We're going to go to Minneapolis. A new man in Minneapolis. Excuse me, it looks like we're going to Washington. A new man in Minneapolis, though. TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson, the tight end, joins up with Kirk Cousins, who is lukewarm on throwing to the tight end, as you can see throughout the years. Usually a couple big games and then nothing else. So we'll see if Cousins hooks up with Hawkinson. If Hawkinson can keep the streak going. But I think more than anything, what a nice coincidence for Unfinished Business getting their star tight end in purple. Something that they're going to like, and they're going to be cheering doubly for TJ Hawkinson. So you always like to see that. Unless you're playing against him. That's it for Crack Kills Quick Hits for week 9. Week 9. 9 weeks gone already. We're in November. It's time for some football. Good luck to everybody this week except Future Comp.